Hey guys, Strike here, coming at you with a long overdue Mr. Potato Head custom update, and today I'm going to be filling you in on basically all of the work that I haven't done. As you can see here, Mr. Potato Head has some new separated eyes and some adjusted holes on the body. So over the past year or so, I have been working on Woody, and Woody has come a long way. Of course, I've still got some special plans for him. One small update is that I gave him the 1995 doll hands as opposed to the modern day Disney Store Woody hands. But this video is about Potato Head mostly. The first thing I want to say about him is that I finally got around to drilling the holes in the body properly. It only took me ordering this big pack of Potato Head bodies to feel confident enough to do it. I have a ton of Potato Head bodies laying next to me. This was one of the first ones that I did a bunch of tests on to see what would look best, and this Potato Head has some plastic wood filler in the old holes that we didn't want anymore. But the Potato Head I have in front of you is one that I worked on today with some of the new bodies that I received. What I did is I had ordered the Blind Squirrel Props eyes, the toy mode version, because those are the eyes that I want. I want him to be in toy mode. As of right now, I don't think he's got this listing up on his website. I think that he took it down and maybe relisting it, hopefully, but he did make it to where you could order individual pairs of eyes if you so chose to, which I did choose to because I only wanted the toy mode eyes. I didn't need the other eyes. One thing I would like to point out before I go any further is that the nose hole did not come out the way I wanted it to. I might have to fill that in and do it again, or I might just use one of the many bodies I have ordered to make a more accurate one. Of course, he's got the same arms as the Potato Head from the first video. The ears are a little bit more modern because they're better for scale reference, and the ones that I have been using, the old school Potato Head ears that are made out of the almost rubber-like material, the pegs would not fit in those holes. This I think is a newer body, so the holes are slightly tighter than the one I had been using. But one thing I would like to point out is that this Potato Head, doing this to a traditional Potato Head body, is a temporary fix for a movie-accurate Mr. Potato Head. My ultimate goal, as I believe I've stated prior, is to cast this Mr. Potato Head from the Toy Story collection and make it act as a traditional Potato Head. Like, the ultimate goal is to make it a Potato Head that functions like a classic toy, but looks and feels accurate to the original movie. Speaking of the original movie, one of the things I might have to do is I might have to sacrifice the parts compartment on the back here. As you can see, this is just a huge little section here. He doesn't have it in the first movie. It's a funny little continuity error in the movies. Is in the first film he does not have the parts compartment, but if I were to do it, I'd probably just use this regular size Potato Head compartment, because I feel like that's probably an accurate enough size, or at least close enough to it. I've seen some people who have made theirs extra small for some reason. Like, it seems smaller in comparison to a traditional Potato Head body, but I think that's just because of how much wider the Potato Head bodies are than the Toy Story version, which, you know, is something that I don't know what I'm going to do about it yet. I'm holding off on casting this guy for a while, but I would like to talk about what I'm going to do in terms of casting, because I have to figure out a way to cast the Potato Head body, which means I have to do it in halves. If you've ever noticed, Potato Head bodies have this seam running down the side of them. That's how they manufacture the Potato Heads, is one half front and one half back. You can see that seam running down the middle there, and then they connect them, which wouldn't be hard to do, but the body being this big is going to require a lot of rubber mold and a lot of resin to create this piece. Now, I plan on doing the ears for sure, and the nose and the mustache. Maybe the hat. I'm not sure about the hat yet. And one of the other things I don't know if I'm going to do, if I'm going to do the hands. I think I'm going to stick with the original Potato Head, or I shouldn't say the original, but the 1980 something Potato Head hands. They're not necessarily accurate, I don't think, in terms of size, but or at least shape, but I might hold off on doing any of the arms till later. The hat I'm not sure about. I definitely want to do, I definitely want to do the shoes. As you can see, I have tested out kind of what it would look like. Mine's yellowed still. But I have to figure out how to not only cast each of these pieces, which doing this with a three-dimensional shape requires two-piece molds, and I have to get the boxes for the molds right, which is turning out to be harder than I thought it was going to be. Initially, I was using these pipe things, and as you can see, I stuck the shoe in there already. I might still do it for the shoes, to be completely honest. But when doing this, you know, I have to keep it to where it's gonna be, it can't be an object like this where it's got this kind of funky shape. It has to be straight. It can't be like slanted going down it, or else your mold doesn't work, or at least from what I can tell, it's not going to work. So for the shoes, I might still stick with these pipes, but I have to figure out how to make a two-part mold. I'd like to preserve as much of my mold making stuff as I can, but if it comes down to it, I'll just use pipe pieces like that again. But not only do I have to figure out how to mold them properly, I also have to figure out how to color them properly. As you can see, I've got some black dye for resin that I can use for the mustache, and if I do the hat, I can use it for the hat or the eyebrows or whatever I choose to do. But I have to get the pink on the ears just right, the orange on the nose just right, the blue of the shoes just right as I throw everything across the room. And that is going to take some experimentation. I am not super excited about all that. It sounds intimidating to me, so that's why I've been kind of holding off on it. But I'd like to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to push myself and force myself to do it eventually. Right away, probably not, but it's all a learning experience, and I gotta just roll with the punches. But as you can see, Mr. Potato Head is looking good for now. I'm gonna figure out if I can't do another one of these bodies and get the holes adjusted right and filled in properly and whatnot. And then real quick, I'd like to shout out Picasso 7 for inspiring me to do this with my body. I almost didn't choose to lower the placement of the holes for the nose and mouth, but he knew what he was doing when he did that, because it looks so much better, and it turned out a little bit better. I just wish I didn't do the nose so dang crooked. It just bothers me. So I'm probably gonna sit here and do another one here in a minute. I'd like to redo the eyebrows. I'm not a huge fan of these eyebrows. I'd like them to be kind of curved around the eye like they are in the first movie. That's how they're supposed to be. But Potato Head so far is looking good. I might also sculpt onto the ears and make them look more accurate. But anywho, I'd like to thank you all so much for your patience in this project and watching me do it. Or not, I shouldn't say watching me do it, but seeing the results at least. Woody is going up. By the way, I got the poster in the background in case you couldn't tell. Woody, I've got some minor adjustments to do to him, some of which I'm not sure if I want to do yet, like the banding around the hat. I have to find the right color or dye the right color banding for that, and the buttons are going to be replaced here soon. Potato Head, like I said, I'm going to fill the holes and eventually cast the collection parts to make him the ultimate Potato Head. Other than that, there's not much else for Potato Head that I can talk about right now. So until next time, I will see you all in the next video. Later, guys.